Is that good?
Yeah, you're eating a cookie now.
Yeah, you're so obsessed with the clap thing. It's like we gotta do 3 claps. I wish my grandma could see me. Grandma!
Can you fix the mic?
Why?
Bring it closer.
I wish my grandma could see me. Grandma.
That's better.
Okay, cool.
That's better.
We're just listening to Motorsport.
But the thing is sport.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I really wanted to wear my nightie for you all today. Sexy. A little slut. Little fucking whore. No,
Grandma.
Riley, our top listener, will very
you're
much
gonna
know
start a
that
fight.
reference. She
You're
will
gonna
know.
start a fight.
She'll know that reference. Why?
Everyone's fighting for that top spot.
What top spot?
Top listener spot.
Oh, I start a brawl? That's okay.
Write in if you think you're the top listener.
Aaron's so desperate for people to write in. He's going to start fights amongst all my friends.
First person to send us $1 is the official Patreon top fan.
Oh my God. Look at you always hustling. Producer, money mindset, money grindset.
Grindset.
Gotta have an online presence. Be present online presence. Your online presence. I've been hearing that a lot lately. Everyone's talking about their online presence. You gotta have an online presence. If you wanna do anything, we gotta have an online presence. Gotta be present online. Gotta get online and be. What if I don't wanna be online? What if being online sucks ass? It sucks ass. Being online.
Hot take.
I know. Everyone
you can
knows.
get this on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah. Whatever. It's true. It's like if I spend enough time on TikTok, and I do, there'll be certain sounds that just become my inner monologue. Like I won't have an inner monologue anymore. I won't be like thinking like a person. I'll just be like, so tell me, Ernest, how much have you seen of me cinematically?
Vocal stems.
Yeah, vocal stems and like little songs on repeat. Anyway, whatever. We don't need to get into this. We don't need to get into this. Grandma! That's what I'm going to do now to keep myself on track whenever I lose it and I can't get back to something. I'm just going to be like, Grandma! You guys should have seen my nightie. My nightie was super cute. Long sleeve, not sexy at all.
Stained to shit.
Stained to shit, covered in grease. Yo, you can't get grease stains out. I had Wendy's the other day and I had 5 chicken strips. Duh. And Aaron thought I spilled sauce all over myself, but I didn't. I just spilled grease and it won't fucking come out and it's in my Skims. I love my Skims. I have one pair of Skims and I hold on to that like, oh, I don't care. I gave the Kardashians my money. I don't feel fucking bad about it at all. Those are great pants. And I love those pants. But now, covered in grease stains.
Chicken strip, Wendy's grease stains.
God, I love chicken strips. If I could, okay, let's rank all the chicken strips. Chicken strips, McDonald's gets like a shout out or an honorary mention or like an in memoriam section.
They're nugs?
Yeah, because their nugs are 100% my favorite, but they're so nostalgic that I don't think I'm actually enjoying them in the same way that someone who had nugs for the first time.
What are you talking about? They're not in your top 5?
No, they are. I'm saying they transcend like a category because I love them so much, but I've also loved them since time immemorial that I feel like, but they also, I'm aware, like they taste good to everyone, but it's like because they taste like shit. I don't even know how to explain it. Because if we're rating chicken fingers, we have to rate a couple of things. We have to rate like the quality of the outside. We have to rate like the quality of the chicken and the juiciness of it.
In the breading?
Yeah, we have to rate like the crispiness of the breading, the juiciness of the inside, and the quality of the chicken. I think those are 3 things that make a great chicken strip. McDonald's has none of those qualities. The chicken nuggets, are actually bad.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're amazing. So I don't know how to classify it. Because I would choose McDonald's nuggets every time. There are people who wouldn't. Riley would never. But there are people who would. There are many people who would, and I'm one of those people. I love a nugget. You go online, people are rife with nugget love. Everyone loves McDonald's nuggets. But they're not really like a chicken finger, and they're not in a chicken finger category. You know? Anyway, whatever. I think the top chicken fingers, like fast food chicken fingers, are probably Wendy's.
Number 1?
Wendy's, yeah. Crispy breading, real chicken, juicy chicken, 100%. The home style chicken strips, 100%. Next, I would probably put A&W. Also not really a chicken strip, but it's trying. And I can't think of any other ones right now. So just gonna...
McDonald's is above 1. It's before 1. It's
Yeah.
-1,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
And then it's Wendy's, and then it's which one?
A&W.
And then it's A&W. So there's 3.
Write in to tell me how you feel. I feel like Sarah would agree with me about McDonald's. I don't know about the other two, but about McDonald's. Anyway.
Stop eating.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm going to be crime for women to eat. You know what? I want my belly out. I don't care. There, I'm done. Some people like this. Some people go online to watch women eat. It's called mukbangs, Aaron.
We're trying to get more.
Yeah, we're trying to get more followers. I don't care if they're creeps.
All right, I'll post this as a
welcome, creeps. If you're here, please creep.
Post
welcome.
This as a mukbang.
Look at my mouth. Ah. Isn't that nice? Yum, 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 yum. I have a big mouth. Yeah.
I don't think that's what mukbang is.
No, it's not. A mukbang is when you order a bunch of food from a place and then you eat it. But there is so much food ASMR involved in it.
I think the appeal, apparently, they said, is to feel like you have friends.
Who's they? And where were you asking?
The people who watch mukbang watch it to feel like they're a part of something.
No, I think...
And they're eating with someone else. And I've heard this.
Okay.
Because they eat it. They're eating while they're watching eating.
Okay. I won't invalidate your experience.
Okay.
But
I watch it.
Okay. You don't watch. I've never seen you watch a mukbang. Your algorithm is all weird.
You came home?
No, it would be like, what's happening? Your algorithm is all like weird fish videos and like trying to like build. It's like, we're gonna build a tree house out of 3 water bottles and 4 plastic tubs. That's your algorithm.
I love garbage.
Yeah. Anything that's garbage that gets repurposed is Aaron's algorithm for sure. Or just like weird people catching fish, or like doing things with fish. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, mukbangs. So I heard that people actually like to listen to mukbangs or watch mukbangs because for some people, it's an eating disorder thing where they want to eat, but they don't feel like they want to actually eat because they have disordered eating. So they want to like watch someone eat a bunch of food and then it either like doesn't make them hungry anymore or it like somehow satiates some sort of craving that they had.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I mean, I have no idea if that's actually like fully true or healthy, but whatever. I mean, if it works for you, then good, I guess. Or I guess bad. I don't know. I don't know the line on like what people need to do to freaking. I'm voting that I have a belly out summer because I've been extremely bloated for years. I don't know how freaking long I've been bloated for, but it's been probably years. And I can't seem to do anything to stop it. And so I think instead of like always trying to feel nervous about it, I'm just going to have a belly out summer. Today I walked around with my shorts down and my belly out. And honestly, it felt really good. It felt really good to just have my belly out. I assume some people probably thought that I was like early stages of pregnancy and just willing to rock it, but I wasn't. I just had my stomach out.
Baby bump?
The thing is, I see some women's baby bump pictures, like when they post them online. Odd thing to do, but like rock on. And sometimes their baby bump photos they look like what I look like when I've eaten. And that's why everyone says like the food baby thing. I think a lot of people feel like that for sure.
Lunch baby.
And I don't mean to shade any pregnant ladies who post their bumps. But I see that and I'm like, fucking, you call that a bump? I could beat you, bitch.
Watch me mukbang.
Watch me mukbang. I would kind of really like to do a mukbang and just watch. I think it would be really surreal to do your own mukbang and then watch it yourself. Anytime you like wanted that meal. I wonder if it would satiate the craving. I wonder if filming yourself doing a mukbang and then watching it back when you really craved that food would somehow like satiate a craving. I don't know, you guys. But anyway, whatever. Fuck that. I don't care about this anymore. It's summer. Simmer on the pot. No, it's not summer yet, but it will be.
Slitty summer.
It's a slitty summer. It's a slitty little summer. And a slit, meaning that you either have to have a slit in your private parts, vagina, or you have to have a slit in your ass crack, or you have to have a slit in your skirt. So if you don't have an ass crack and you don't have a vagina, you have to wear a skirt and it has to have a slit. And that's just the rules. And I don't make the rules. It's just the rules of a slitty summer. Slit. If someone ever called my vagina a slit, I think I'd actually be really happy because I have way too much labia for it to ever look like just a straight line.
More of a gash.
Yeah, more of a like slit and then something fell out. It's just still hanging on.
Or a gaping gash.
Yeah, exactly. More like a...
We're talking about your vagina again. We did this last
God
episode.
damn it. My friend Kelsey has a thing where Kelsey Hamilton, where she's like every
Friend
time
of the pod.
she's like every time I see you, you tell me how long your labia is. She's like, it's like a recurring thing. And it seems to be just her and on the podcast. Obviously, I love talking about it on here, but I just keep talking about it. You know why? You know why, you guys, as annoying as it is, as annoying as it may be to listen to, I think for so long I was so ashamed of my vagina. I would tuck in my labia all the time, anywhere I would go, anytime I had to change in front of girls, even my closest friends, I was tucking this shit in. And it feels just so good to be able to just be like, whatever, you know? Just like it feels really nice to talk about like shitting when you grow up and be able to be like, yeah, I had fucking violent diarrhea yesterday. It's so nice. Because when I was a girl, I would never admit that. Me, violent diarrhea? Absolutely not. I didn't even have an asshole at all. I didn't even exist. No asshole, no crack, no nothing. Just what would that look like? It's just like a bare bump. Just like a big bare bump back there. That's all I got. No crack. No hole. Actually, I want the crack. Probably would have said yes to the crack. Like a Barbie's ass. You know how she has like a gentle crack, but it's like there's no hole in there.
Suggestion of a crack.
Yeah, just the light, faint shadowing of a crack. You know, enough to give the ass some contour and make it look human and not just like a big ass plate, not like a breastplate, but an ass plate. Anyway, whatever. That was, I think, where I wanted to be at. I wanted to be a no asshole, no shit bitch.
What?
So embarrassing. I just didn't want anyone to know that I was having diarrhea. Anyway, I think it's nice to be able to talk about. I think it's nice to be able to, and every year I get a new one. Every year I one up, I level up in my willingness to just share, you know? This year I told all my friends when I shit the bed. Big progress for me, okay? That was last year. This year, I'm wearing my belly out all summer.
You're digressing.
What do you mean?
You're degressing.
What does that mean?
Or you're regressing.
What?
To a simpler form.
No, my simpler form was scared and didn't want to have an asshole.
I guess so.
I'm evolving. This is evolving.
Okay.
This is evolving into a new form of myself. You're very annoyed with me this pod.
No.
Yes, you are. I can tell.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, everything I say, you're like, what? Why? Why would we go there again? Not the vagina again, Cass. Back on track.
Because you started eating.
Because I started eating, yeah, and it pissed you off.
Yeah, it's bad form.
You were like, don't get on the podcast with a cookie in your mouth.
Definitely not.
Why not?
It's bad form. People are going to tune in and they're like, oh, she's eating. Tune out immediately. Unless they're mukbang listeners.
Yeah, but we just talked about how many people like mukbangs. Mukbangs. The word is not working anymore. Well, should we cut it?
No.
The cookie?
No.
The cookie has now become a quintessential part of the episode.
Yeah, this is a mukbang
Weigh
episode.
in. I need to know, are you pro cookie? Are you anti cookie?
It's not the cookie,
God.
it's the eating and the microphone.
Oh my God.
I don't.
You're such a whiner. Just made you so much delicious food and you shoveled it in your face. And now I'm in trouble because I want to snack on a little cookie.
Okay, we should have some rules in this
Well,
podcast.
Okay, what are the rules?
No domestic fighting.
Okay. That's never gonna
And
happen.
no more talking about your labia.
Oh my God. Oh, now who's trying to censor women? Now who's trying to keep the women down?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Next thing you're gonna tell me it's not a belly out summer, it's a belly in summer. I'm gonna have to wear a corset around you, you ancient Victorian man.
Of course, it would be hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure you would say it was hilarious. Sometimes Aaron will say things are hilarious when he really means that he wants to see it because it would be hot. He'd be like, yeah, if you just like, I don't know, we're walking around in like tight little skirt, that'd be so funny. And it's like, that's not what you mean.
That's not funny.
That's not funny.
I saw a guy no frills when you sent me to the store, and he had a huge gut, tightest shirt ever, like half
Nice.
the gut out, like above the belly button.
Good.
Would not fit past. It was crazy.
Good. Good. Why is it offensive to see someone's stomach? It's not. And I'm saying, you know what? If there was actually like a legitimate cure for bloating, whatever, then I would do it. But there isn't.
Tapeworm.
Tapeworm? What kind of weird freaking psycho shit are you on?
Some people ingest them, right?
I guess.
To
Do they?
lose weight, yeah.
The idea of putting a living thing that's going to eat you from the inside out
It's
inside you
really
just
dangerous.
feels really so stupid.
Yeah, they die sometimes.
They die sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sometimes they die? Ugh, I don't get it, you guys. But I do think if I was to ingest a tapeworm, I would have to name it and I would have to feel very protective over it. What?
I yawned.
Oh, you yawned? You're
Bad.
always so tired when we do this. Every time we do this podcast, sometimes I'm talking and Aaron's like, if you can't see me, I'm rolling my eyes into the back of my head and sticking my mouth out like an agape
Okay, no more yawning.
salamander.
No more yawning.
Yeah, you got to pay attention, man.
I'm paying attention.
And a way to tell me there's a reason why we only have 10 listeners, and it is because this is boring.
What were you saying about tapeworms?
Boring. Oh, something so riveting, so worth it. We should definitely go back to that. It was really good. It was really, really good. Today, Aaron was like, do you think you can record 2 podcasts? And I was like, 100%. Yes, I'm ready.
Can't wait.
I made 2 meals and I was like, oh yeah, this is me. And then I sit down here in my little cozy chair. And then it's like, sometimes I just look up and everything just goes dark up there. You know why? Because I'm like, come on, girl, get it on. Get something funny going on. Get something funny going on.
Get some fun going on.
Do you ever hear a song that you haven't heard in a while and then you're immediately brought back to a time when you were a kid where you thought that you were like, that you had these strong feelings of like love for someone because you had like such a crazy crush, but then you think about it now and you're like, that kid was so dumb, but also you just still kind of feel that feeling? You ever hear that? Like I have songs where I'll hear them. Like the other day I heard the song that's like, your love, it feels so good, and that's what takes me high. Anyway, it was like, it was by a woman, a band, I don't know, called Sonique, and there's absolutely no record of them doing any other song. Like if you look it up on Apple Music, it's just that song plus all the remixes to that song. Like I don't think they made anything else or she made anything else.
That's a good name.
Sonique?
Yeah.
It is.
I like it.
It's like French. Or it's spelt the French way.
Keep
Anyway,
going.
whatever. So she released that song and I was brought back to a time where I had a little crush on this little tiny boy in grade 1. And his name was Matthew and he had blonde hair. And I've never ever had a crush on a blonde guy again. But it's so weird that my first boyfriend of 8 years was blonde but I didn't like it. Gross. Anyway, but I did have such a huge crush on this little boy named Matthew, and I always pictured him like when I would listen to this song, this Sonique song, "Love You Feels So Good," and I would just like picture us being together. And then the other song that made me think of him, weirdly, was the Men in Black theme song. For no reason. I just heard the song. I hadn't even seen the movie. I don't even think I was allowed to see the movie at the time. I was too young. But I heard the Men in Black theme song and I just pictured him at 6 years old. I pictured him taking his shirt off and doing a dance and being like, Men in Black. And it just like, it was him in like a diamond formation pyramid with a bunch of other 6-year-old boys. But my focus was only on him because he was my fucking guy. And I was in the audience of this somehow. And he had like the black sunglasses on and he took his shirt off. At 6 years old, I was like, yeah, I want to see this little 6-year-old boy shirtless. Such a pervert. Anyway. And he was doing this like shoulder motion, like to the side, you know, like the kind of like basketball kind of dance, like the hip hop dance, like bent knees, like, and that was like the sexiest thing I could ever think of. Anyway, that song and the Sonique song made me think of Matthew. And I remember I had such a crush on him. And then on Valentine's Day, his parents, fucking weird. Now that I'm older and I think about it, weirdos. His parents brought little roses for him to give out, but his parents only brought like 10 of them to give out to the girls in the class.
Did you get one?
No!
Oh, shit. And you were so down
And I was waiting. I was like sitting there like foaming at the mouth. Probably eating my cookie into a microphone. Just the most disgusting thing you could think of. Chatting up about my labia. Was already hanging at this point. And I just was so excited. I remember it was Valentine's Day and I was like, today's the day. Like, he's going to notice me. I'm going to give him my Valentine. Because it was mandatory in class to like give each other Valentines.
Mandatory.
But then it was also kind of not mandatory. Like, you didn't have to give every single person a Valentine if you didn't want to. Anyway, whatever. So I was waiting. I was waiting. He was going around the room deciding who to give these roses to. It was like agony. It was like the fucking Bachelor. It was literally the Bachelor. It was grade 1 Bachelor. Oh my God. And so I was standing there just like, pick me, literally pick me. And oh yeah, biggest. And I was on The Bachelor. I was in grade 1 The Bachelor and I had no option. And also the reason I liked him, by the way, just to give you some context, the reason I had such a crush on my guy is because there was this rock outside of a person's house, like on a street. It was like this big rock. I don't even know why it was there. It was just like a big, large rock. Kind of looked like a big egg, like sideways, like a sideways egg. Anyway, it was on this person's lawn, but it was like a big lawn in Ontario. I don't really know why anyone would have a rock on their lawn being an adult, but whatever. The kids used to love to play on it. We would all climb on this rock and jump off this rock. And one day I was playing around the rock or whatever. And then Matthew, I don't think he pushed me off. I think I kind of fell off. And then he went up on the rock and was like, like big, like got really big and put his arms up and then jumped on me. And then he was on top of me, literally on top of me. Like, oh, wow. And so I remember that as like him, like on top of me, over top of me, just being like, but in all actuality, he just jumped on me because he was a boy and then ran away. But that was the basis for my crush. I was like, if this man is already climbing on top of me, we're going to fuck any day now. No, I'm kidding. No, but I was like, we're going to, Aaron is so frustrated with me this episode. I love it. But I was like, we're going to kiss. Like, we're going to kiss for sure. For sure. He was going to kiss me. He was going to kiss me. He just couldn't because it was like the neighbor's yard and the other kids were there and it was just weird and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So on Valentine's Day, I was fully expecting to get a rose because I was like, even if he's hopping on top of a few other girls in the class, he's got 10 of these fucking roses. And by the way, I think there was only 25 children in the class. So there was probably almost enough for all the girls.
Like 12 women.
Yeah. I was one of 2 that didn't get a rose. I was so upset.
Were you?
Yeah.
You cry?
Distraught. I went home and listened to my song. Your love, it feels so good. And I was like, and even though he doesn't love me, I can't quit. And that's what takes me high. I'm like, I'm high right now, high, but I'm not feeling good. I'm in the clouds, but it's raining. Ooh, baby. Just sitting there looking at my old stereo.
And then an empty vase.
Oh.
In the window.
Where the rose should have been.
Yeah.
100%. More like an empty water bottle because my mom would never have given me a vase. But yeah, it's just there's songs that can just take you back. Smells can take you back too. If I smell certain Victoria's Secret perfumes, oh my God, I'm 18 years old, blackout drunk again.
Blackout, you remembers the smell.
Yeah. I didn't actually really ever black out really a lot. That wasn't my thing. Like, I would drink to the point where someone would black out, but then I would just be excessively barfing and remember most of it.
Yeah, I didn't black out. I just barf.
Just barf.
Barf guy.
I think some people won't barf automatically, or like they will, but their brain will just continue to
drink.
Or not drink, but like their brain will just continue to go to the place of blacking out. And then for some people, the blackout, the barfing is like the awareness cue or something, and just kind of I don't know why but it's true. I've known lots of people who do like fully blackout, no memory, and then some people who don't really ever. Like, I definitely have nights where my memory is pretty fuzzy, or I've like mostly blacked out. But actually, the only time I really blacked out was when I was roofied, which sounds like this is going to be a really scary and depressing story. But don't worry, guys, they didn't get away with it. I was roofied at a work party, and then so was my friend, and then we ended up getting home safe, and it was fine because, her partner took us home, and I got upstairs, and then I was sick for 2 days. Fucking being roofie sucks. But you know what? It's not my worst drug experience. I would say one of my worst drug experiences ever was, there's a couple, but the first one that comes to mind is when I took way too many edibles. This is also a Riley story, but Riley and I had we had these edibles before, and they were these little cubes, and we remember these cubes, and we were like, these were so good. They were like 5 milligrams each. We took them on my birthday once back in Toronto. We went to this thing called the One of a Kind show where you could get a lot of like free samples and just walk around. And she's pretty susceptible to edibles. And so she took like 2, so the equivalent of 10 milligrams. I took 3, the equivalent of like 15. We were both like decently high, but not in a bad way. We were high enough that like she bought a tie-dye sweater and I was like salivating at the mouth at every food sample to the point where one guy was like, you need to calm down. But it wasn't bad. You know, we were having fun. We were enjoying ourselves. Anyway, so this was like my birthday one year. And then we were hanging out like a couple months later and we were like, let's do that again. Let's go get those cubes. Those cubes were like a good, easy, chill time. And, you know, we'll have dinner and we'll have a chill night. So we go to the weed store, and this was before weed was legal. And then we go in and they don't have the cubes, but they were like, oh, we have these other edibles. And we were like, yeah, sure. So there's these little teddy bears. And so we're like, okay, great. So like you'll take 2 and I'll take 3 and perfect. So we do that. And only after that do we look on the box and realize that they are 30 milligrams each, not 5. So I just took 90 and she just took 60, which is not a lot for some of my stoner friends. I know, like I have some friends who will rock like freaking 300 milligrams of edibles and go to a concert, respect. But like at the time, for someone who was feeling it and feeling fun and funky and free on 15 milligrams to go to fucking 90, we were terrified. And for some reason, because I don't know what's wrong with us, but we were like, we should eat something. I think because we thought we didn't have anything on our stomach. And then if we didn't, it was going to make us so much more high, so much worse. So we go out to dinner. Terrible idea when you're on edibles to go out anywhere. And we go to dinner at this like Mexican restaurant down the street. We were like, we'll go somewhere close to home. So it was the only smart decision we made, was going somewhere close to home. But of course, I feel like people, if anyone is not well experienced with edibles, if you eat an edible and then you eat after it, the food is going to force the edible to digest faster. So we start eating, and then all of a sudden we're fucked. Like we're absolutely fucked, and we're like, we need to get home. So we tipped the waiter so much, like we gave him like 30% or something. And then we raced home. For some reason, on the way home, it was only like a 5-minute walk. I thought every single dog was going to die. Every dog I saw, I was like, that dog's going to die. That dog, dead. That dog, ugh. X is in the eyes, dead.
Good as dead.
Good as dead. And then Riley's freaking out. She was paranoid about the cars. And then we get home, we get upstairs, and my boyfriend at the time was there, and he was just sitting on the couch playing video games, his favorite pastime. And we just sat beside him. We couldn't do anything. We were like, we can't even hang out. We can't chill. We can't do anything. We're so fucked up. And it's not feeling good. And so we had taken home the food that we had had before. It was like nachos. And for some reason I wanted to start eating it. So I start chewing on the chips. And then my ex looks at me and he's like, what's wrong with you? And of course I'm high. So I'm like, what? And he's like, you've been chewing the same chip for 10 minutes. And it was at that point that I realized that I had been chewing the same chip over and over and over again. It was just like a paste in my mouth. Riley went home. She was like not feeling well. She told me the next day she called in sick she tried to go to work. She went to work. And then work was like, she was like, I'm sick. And they were like, okay. Then she went home because it was just like way too much. I, though, went to bed. I think I fell asleep like on the floor, and then woke up the next day and also tried to go to work. But I was serving at the time. They had too many servers. And so they were like, you can stay if you want and we'll cut someone else, because I was like a bit more senior, or you can go home. And I was like, I'm actually really good to go home because I still felt super weird. Then I walked into this place called The Wine Shop, which just has Ontario wines. And I was greeted by this British man. He was like, hi, how you doing today? And for some reason, and I was still fucked, by the way, I just didn't really know it. I assumed that like as soon as you slept, you weren't high anymore. But I woke up and I was still fucking crazy. And so I go into the wine shop, and this British man starts speaking to me. And for some reason in my brain, I think the association just went, he's British, therefore he thinks he's better than you. You have to prove to him that you know everything about wine. And then you have to buy the most expensive bottle of wine in this place. So that's exactly what I did. I asked him all these questions. Now, keep in mind, the wine shop in particular is not a normal liquor store where you can get wines from all over the place. It is specifically Ontario, Canada wines, which, if anyone knows, are not anything remarkable. Like, we have a couple wine regions and it's fine, but it's not. You're not getting cream of the crop expertise from a proper wine store sommelier, whatever. Like, this is just a man who has a job. And he was nice too. Because he was British, I was like, he thinks he's better than me. I'm going to prove this motherfucker wrong. Watch me. So I walk around the store asking him all these questions, trying to prove to him my knowledge of different types of wines. Like, why? And then I'm like, he's like, well, do you like ice wine? And for some reason I was like, yes, I don't. And he's like, well, over here we have all of these ice wines. And now he's like going to make this sale, right? And I'm like, yeah, 100%. No, I want that. The most expensive thing in the freaking store ended up being a like $150 ice wine. And I bought that with a pair of ice wine glasses so that I would have something to drink it out of, because a normal glass wouldn't be good enough for my fucking ice wine, which is basically syrup. I needed glasses for my syrup. So I bought all of that, left being like, that man thought he was better than me. Oh, look what I just did. And then I bought 2 sandwiches, one from Subway and one from Starbucks. I went home, ate both sandwiches, and passed out for 18 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So instead of working, you did all that?
Yeah.
Did you get your cheese and chip sandwich?
Yep. Okay.
In your highest state, you were able to order that?
Yeah, it's literally just cheese and bread and a bag of chips.
It's a lot of explaining, though.
Sorry, for anyone who doesn't know, and I feel like everyone listening does. The only thing I ever order at Subway is is Italian herbs and cheese bread with about 20 slices of cheese, not toasted. And then I get a bag of Lay's potato chips and I put it across the whole thing, foot long, obviously.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's definitely not a popular choice. And everyone who's ever been with me or dated me refuses to get me the sandwich. I actually feel like my ex-girlfriend would have got me that sandwich. So just saying.
The employees don't understand it. It breaks their little minds.
Yeah, so
they
the
don't even
thing
know what
with
to ring you up as.
No, sometimes I ask them to ring me up as like the cheese and the bread separately, like we can just kind of like compartmentalize the sandwich.
I'll pay cash.
You know, like we can scrap it for parts kind of deal.
100%.
Yeah, I want to see if they'll scrap it for parts, but most of the time they won't scrap it for parts. They really just want to charge me for a veggie. And I'm like, veggie? There's not a vegetable in sight. The whole thing's beige. The whole thing is a beautiful color of beige. It's the only thing I've ever ordered at Subway. It's the only thing I like at Subway. It's my favorite sandwich. I love the sandwich. I'll never stop eating the sandwich. Now, do I eat the sandwich all the time? No, I don't. I'm trying to diversify my foods and not have so much beige. I'm trying to have all the colors of the rainbow, so I've been eating more Skittles. But when I do go to Subway, it's the only thing that I will order. And it has caused such a ruckus. Like one time I was driving, I think, through the States with some friends of mine. We had like driven to Florida for like a trip. For like a grad trip. And then on the way we stopped in Kentucky. And when I asked for this sandwich, this guy was like, sweetheart, that's all you want? And he kind of like tried to like pull me aside a little. And he was like, I can put some meat on it. And if it's an issue that you just can't afford it, it's totally fine. I'm happy to do it. And I was like, this man thinks that I'm so destitute that I can't afford meat on my sandwich. And it was so sweet. It was such a kind gesture. But then I had to break his little heart and be like, no, I actually just want this. I actually just think this tastes good and want to eat this. And I love it. And if you haven't tried it, you can't talk to me about it. Honestly, I won't hear anything from anyone who hasn't tried it. I won't. Because if you try it, you will, I think, understand a little bit. I've had a couple people who've tried it, and yeah, maybe it's not their favorite sandwich. Maybe it's not what they're getting at Subway. But they'll try it and they'll be like, I could see it. I could see it for a hangover. I could see it in the right moment. It's got the right amount of crunch. The cheese is soft. You know, the bread is crunchy and it's got a bunch of different like.
I thought you don't toast it.
I don't.
Have you tried toasting it?
Never. I would never. Melted cheese? Gross.
What?
Look. I love melted cheese normally. Like obviously if I normally make a grilled cheese sandwich.
That was your whole lunch today.
What?
Melted cheese.
Oh yeah. Aaron got me these new things. They're like little halloumi fries. They're just
cheese sticks.
Cheese sticks that you just fry in the pan.
You're so pumped.
It's just fried cheese. Yeah, fried cheese is sick. Fried cheese is so sick. I'm sick of pretending I'm classier than I am. I just want to fry some fucking cheese in the pan.
Unless it's at Subway.
Yes. And then I don't want any melted cheese.
No heat touching that.
But I'm confused why you thought that me saying crunchy bread meant it was toasted. Like, bread is just natural. The Subway bread is naturally like, well, maybe it's not crunchy, but it has crunch to it. Anyway, Aaron's not here right now. He left. Yeah. Aaron likes to leave sometimes and have me just completely talk to myself, which is such a fun exercise and feeling like an interesting person. Yeah, this has become a very food-focused ep. It's a mukbang. Then we know the title. Mukbang. Mukbang. I think it's mukbang, or is it mukbang?
Just getting high as fuck and eating all that food.
I love getting high as fuck and eating food, except one time I got really high and then I ordered from McDonald's. I ordered like 2 Big Macs with no lettuce, and then I take off the top bun and just put it together, and for some reason that feels like it's just less food to me. And then
what?
2 Big Macs, no lettuce. And then
no bun.
No, I just take the top bun off because there's 3 buns, and then I take the bun that's in the middle of the Big Mac and then I flip it and then I eat it like that, like a sandwich.
I like a little bun.
Okay.
Because it's the little bun you keep.
Yeah, the middle one.
Interesting.
So then it becomes like a flat sandwich.
Like an egg muffin almost.
Kinda. Yes, you get it. I thought you didn't get it and I was dismissing you, but you get it. So I do that, and then I ordered like 10 chicken nuggets, classic, and then
God tier.
junior chicken, and then I always order an egg sandwich. Even if it's like 5 a.m, I'll order. Or no, I guess 5 a.m. would be the time people would wake up to have an egg sandwich. But I mean, like if I've stayed up till 5 a.m, I'll still eat an egg sandwich, or just at 11 p.m. Anyway, I ordered all this food because I was super high. I ate it all really fast, and then I threw up, and then something happened with my vagus nerve, and then I just fell over and passed out and just woke up bleeding.
Because you fell over.
Yeah. But then the ambulance came and they were like, "You're fine." It's funny being in Canada because we always talk
They
about
saw
like
all the litter around you, all the garbage of McDonald's. And they're like,
whatever. I just feel like
she had a heart attack.
healthcare being free in Canada is such a great thing, or was maybe such a flex, but now everything is so oversaturated and so overrun, and healthcare workers are so tired and so spent and so like worked to the extreme that they kind of encourage you not to go to the hospital because they're like, you're fine.
You'll wait 10 hours and
Totally. I waited so long for the ambulance to get there, and then when they did, they were kind of like, do you need to go? Because you're fine. Which is cool. Like, I didn't need to ambulance ride there. Would have loved to, because riding an ambulance is sick. But
it costs a lot of money.
it costs a lot of money. It's like, it used to be $75 or something.
Yeah, but it hurts your credit.
Well, if you don't pay it.
And you didn't know you had one.
Well, yeah, one time when a dog bit me in the vagina. This all sounds made up, but it's true.
Just one time.
This one time, this dog bit me in the vagina. And then I had this scar on my little vagina.
And then I was so hungry.
Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about my vagina because apparently that's illegal in this household. Sorry. Let me get on a sweater that goes down to my wrists. Let me get my turtleneck on.
Well,
Let me get my skirt that goes down to my ankles. Let me go sleep in my separate bed, and then we can have sex through a hole in the sheet.
What?
I don't know. Apparently I'm not allowed to talk about my lady bits, my lady parts, my no-no area, my no-go, no zone.
Your labia
My
parts.
no zone. Like ozone, but no zone.
Labia parts.
Labia parts. It's kind of cute.
It's nice.
Anyway, dog bit me in the vagina one time.
Anyway.
And I got to go in the ambulance. And then I didn't know that there would be an ambulance fee because I was like, seriously not okay. This dog just bit me in the crotch for no reason, by the way.
They always charge.
And yeah, and then I had to go, and then they thought they could skin graft it because it was like my upper pubis. So it wasn't like actually I say vagina, but I know that the words are vulva and all that shit. It was my upper,
pubis.
it was my mons pubis area that the dog bit. And then I thought they were going to have to skin graft it because they kept saying that. They're like, we're going to have to do skin grafting. And then when I got there, they were like, it's fatty enough. We can stitch it. And they just like held it together and stitched it. And I was like, this doctor just told me I had a fat pussy.
Fupa.
This doctor was like, look, this bitch has a fat fucking pussy. And if she didn't, maybe we'd have to skin graft it. But she does. So let's give her a fucking tummy tuck, put her on what not to wear, Get her on Extreme Makeover Vagina Edition and give her a brand new Mons.
Fupa's a medical term.
Fupa?
Yeah.
It's not a medical term.
He said it.
Oh my God, no. In my mind, okay, you know when you have a memory and you don't know that if it's actually a memory or if it's you made it up? Or like some of it's probably real and then some of it's probably what your brain inserted afterwards. In my mind, he said it's fatty enough we can stitch it. And he might have because everyone was like crowded around me and like rushing to figure out a solution. But I wonder often if he used those exact words or if that's just what he implied and then that's what I heard in my head and then I just decided that's what he said. You know? I kind of think about that with a lot of memories. Like, I have memories where I know I'm actively not lying and embellishing because I think I used to embellish a lot when I was younger, for sure. Embellish is a very, very fancy, almost French word for lying. And I definitely did. I didn't even almost notice I was doing it. It was like second nature when I wanted to make something more interesting or like try to get a laugh. And then I made a really conscious effort when I got older to stop doing that because I didn't like it and it felt weird or wrong, and it would almost kind of happen out of nowhere. Like I would just be telling a lie. And so I really tried hard not to do that. But weirdly enough, as soon as I kind of was like, I'm going to really try not to do that anymore, as maybe like a late teen, early 20s, or maybe it was like a little later than that, I'm not sure. My life started getting stranger, like strange things. I mean, strange things have always kind of happened to me. And that's where I think some of the embellishing comes from, is like the core of it is very strange. And then, you know, let's flower it up as best as we can. But then actual things that I remember as they have gotten weirder, which I'm happy for. Like I would hate to just be walking around, nothing's happening, nothing interesting. You guys have seen me in that state on the podcast multiple times. If you've listened to other episodes, there's some times where I'm like, I don't know what to think and I can't think anymore and everything's dark and crazy and bad. So it's definitely good to have some shit happen. But anyway, I don't know if that is truly what the doctor said, that it's fatty enough we can stitch it. But in my mind, that is all I heard was it's fatty enough we can stitch it. But it's not fatty anymore. The problem is that when your mons pubis doesn't have as much like zhuzh to it, it means it leaves all the other bits more exposed. It's like pulling back the curtains to reveal. It's like pulling back your lips into like a little sneer.
You got a lot of curtains.
Yeah. It really is pulling back the curtains, pulling up the front curtain, the front butt. I love front butt. I wish more people said front butt when they were talking about vaginas. Front butt. So funny. It makes me picture a vagina just shitting. Okay. No more vagina and no more. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to believe I'm more intelligent than this, but I don't know that I am. I don't know that I'm capable of more than this. Anyway, for anyone concerned about the story or that doesn't know the story of the dog bite, not that anyone would be concerned because obviously it's over and I'm fine. It missed the clit. The dog was a boy, so we couldn't find it. And then what happened? Oh, and then I got a tattoo over the scar. I really wanted to get Welcome to Niagara Falls, but then one of my friends talked me out of it. I have a little scar that looks like a smile. I would sometimes like add it onto pictures and send it to my friends. And the open wound kind of looked like a smile too. So that was always fun to show guys at bars who wouldn't leave you alone. If any woman ever who's listening to this podcast wants me to send them the photo of my like gory pubis area so that they can have it and show it to men when they're being disgusting, 100% you let me know. You can take it because it was great. I'd be like, I have an extra hole. Bam. And then they'd be like, ah, really freaked out, you know. It was fun to freak people out with that one for a while, for a few years. Yeah, and then I also wanted to get a tattoo that said Laffy Taffy. I didn't know when I was a kid that, girl, she gon' love it, y'all love it. I didn't know that was also about vaginas. So many songs I love are just about vaginas. Anyway, so I thought that would be really fun because I also really like Laffy Taffy. If you guys haven't had a Laffy Taffy in a while, side note, candy-wise, whew, exceptional. A cherry Laffy Taffy, read a couple jokes, have a little taffy, get fun, get loose, have it in the bath.
Have a laugh, have a taff.
Have a laugh, have a taff. That's cute. I like that. Have a tip taff. Have a laugh, have a taff in the bath. Yeah, bath. You should definitely eat more in the bath. One time I tried to have full charcuterie in the bath though.
What?
Wouldn't recommend. Just because the crackers get crumbly, you could do cheese and meat.
You're just sweaty.
Cheese, meat, and olives. Yeah. Something about being like hot and sweaty in the bath, but then like also hungry and just like being satiated. It feels like everything's warm. Like your digestive system's warm and you're warm. And then having a big cold glass of water for when you're done eating. Oh my God, that's the best. Truly, truly, truly. I love a bath. But our bath is so shallow now. It's just like my knees sticking out all the time, which sucks. Anyway, we met a woman today. We met this old Italian woman when we were walking home. I am working on a theory that if you are really strange in public, you will just attract people to talk to you because nobody, I mean, that's not really much of a theory. It's just like a thing that happened today that I think is valid. Which makes sense, right? Because like if you are somebody who just kind of has your head down and is doing your thing and going on your walks and whatever, like you're not really inviting people to talk to you. And women know this very well. Sometimes men will still frickin' talk to you, even when you are head down, not wanting to and have no interest in it. Heaven forbid you think of something fun or you look at a text and you smile. I've had bus drivers be like, yeah, it's great when you smile, like from out of the bus. I'm not even on the bus. I'm like, get away from me. Or like try to gesture to me to fucking whatever. Anyway, so all I'm saying is like, you're going to invite weirdness even if you're not asking for it at all. And I don't mean asking for it like, okay, sorry. I hate asking for it. I didn't mean it. I just mean like, if you're out on the street and you're really not trying to be seen, if you're not trying to be seen, women know that you'll still be seen anyway, unfortunately, sometimes by the people that you least want to see you. But if you dress like a fucking freak and you go outside and like today I had a hat that has like a full brim and then nothing on the top. Okay. And then I had on a little tank top, belly out, because I said I'm rocking that. I'm holding true to my word. I had like a weird little cow print short on and no shoes because we were just rocking no shoes and seeing what it felt like. And this ancient woman came up to us and she had a parasol and she was collecting cans, but she also had this like beautiful long like petticoat dress on. And she was like, I used to walk around barefoot when I was young. And I was like, okay. And then we just stood in this alleyway and she told us about all the kids that she worked with at the children's hospital. It was a weird red flag. The first thing she brought up was children. She was like, children are the best. I used to work with them at the kids hospital. And we were like, yeah, for sure. And then she kept talking about like life she grew up in Italy and she's telling us different things. And sometimes it was a little bit hard to follow her stories. But then she was like, and one of the children at the hospital, he was the most handsome. And so I used to write to him and I would say, I'll wait for you to marry you. And don't worry because you're too young. I'll wait for you, whatever. And then she said, and then he grew up and got married and his wife's name was Sarah. And she was really like jealous of Sarah. And then they had a baby. And then she was like, don't worry, I'm not thinking about you anymore because now I have your son. And she was implying she was going to like wait for the son to be old enough and then marry him. And she said it like it was like this joke. But I was like, are we talking to a pedophile? I don't know.
It sounds like a ghost when you're describing it now.
Kinda. She did. She had a huge, big umbrella, big like parasol umbrella. And she had like a long, like down to her ankles almost and like right up to her neck dress that was like, must have had like tulle or like it flared out. It was like an A shape. But then she had black gloves and she was collecting cans. But then she also had like gold jewelry. She had gold earrings on and she had her makeup done and she looked great. And then she was talking about these kids at the hospital and whatever. And then kind of abruptly, we both were just like, anyway, and we kept walking. And we talked to her for like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. It was so weird. But it was because we were barefoot. And so I just think if you're having a day where you're like, I want to see what happens, but in like a fun way, not in a chaotic, like I want to get hurt way. Just like take off your shoes and have your belly out or like just look weird. And then people will be like, okay, I'm going to talk to this person because obviously they want to chat.
I wouldn't.
Well, we were also reading the dictionary.
That's true.
She was like, oh, the dictionary. Like she saw that too. She clocked it. What do you mean you wouldn't?
I wouldn't talk to people like that.
No?
No.
Freaky freakers?
No, would you?
Freaky deekers? I like to talk to people sometimes.
Yeah, if they talk to me, sure. But if I wouldn't go to my way to be like,
I mean, I'm not going to go up to someone and be like, one time I worked at a children's hospital and I wrote to that kid every year saying I was going to wait till he was old enough to marry him. And then when he was, I turned my sights on his child.
That's really demonic.
Like, yeah, I don't really think I would. But it could be demonic, but it could also be like, that's how they told jokes at the time. They were like, you're such a cutie. I'm going to marry you one day.
What a bit.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that from the lens now it's weird. And maybe it's weird. Maybe it's full weird. And I shouldn't be giving this woman any graces. But I do feel like there was a time where it was like, pinch your cheeks and like, oh, you're going to be so handsome. And like, will you marry me when you're older? And it was like a cute little bit. You know?
Sure.
Don't say sure. I fucking hate when people say sure at me.
No, sure. Like, I can see that.
Okay.
Italians are also pretty weird with it.
Italians are so weird with it.
My nono kept slapping little baby's cheeks, and the baby did not like it.
Really?
When he saw a little baby, he'd be like, not slapping, but he'd like grab the cheeks and kiss the mom.
Oh my God, your nono kisses me so much when he sees me.
And no one liked it.
He kisses me so much on the lips when you're not looking, which is the weirdest part.
Yeah.
So Aaron's nono is 92. So really, what are we going to do?
We put him on game.
With a 92-year-old. But he does. It kisses you right on the face, right on the lips.
When I'm not looking.
He starts, and he kisses you right on the lips.
Mwah.
For some reason, because he has an accent, it's okay.
It's charming.
And an Italian accent too. It's like,
and he's a million years
I just
old.
like, he kisses me and I'm kind of like, oh, don't chip it. Like, I'm like, whatever. Like, all of a sudden I have a baguette and a bicycle and I'm just riding around.
Sometimes he gives you money.
Yeah, but he didn't this time.
Yeah, he knows he can get it for free.
Yeah, fuck.
You should have been like,
always make the men pay, ladies.
Yeah, where's my fee?
Up front. The other day, Aaron was complaining about a $20 date.
No, it wasn't.
You were like, this movie date was expensive.
I wasn't complaining.
Better not be.
I was showing
I
you
could be a
how
lot more expensive than I am.
thrifty I am. I'm good at making it work.
I could be a lot more expensive. Yeah. You don't even know how expensive I could be.
This podcast was expensive.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerk.
You wanted to do it. You're the producer. If this was a bad investment, that's on you. If I just sit here and talk about my labia for 18 hours straight.
I thought there'd be less labia.
Why?
I was like, you got good advice. People need to hear it.
Yeah, but nobody wants my advice. What advice am I going to give to people? I have advice. Well, how much minutes have we done?
50.
50?
Yeah, you just
God.
44 of labia, but 50.
It hasn't been 44 of labia, and you know it. We've just called it back to that every once in a while because I can't get it out of my head.
Every 1 minute. Okay, go ahead. What's your advice?
My advice is that staying in a state of wanting is always going to leave you wanting. And it doesn't necessarily, I think there's a lot of people who've tried to kind of give this advice like in the way of manifesting, where they've said things like, you have to manifest what you want. You have to manifest what you want as if you already have it. It has to be something that you already own, that's already, something that you have. Which I think makes sense to some people, but for other people it's a little confusing because manifesting feels a little cringy. Like you're just standing in your room being like, I have $1 million. I have $1 million or whatever. I don't think it necessarily works like that. I think the point is, though, let's say you want something really bad. Let's say you really want a job, or you really want like a creative pursuit to go well, or you really want to find love. If you always stay in the state of wanting that love or wanting that creative pursuit, you're going to be thinking about how much you want it and not all of the things that go into actually getting it. And so the pursuit of it or the chase of it, I think sometimes makes it go a little bit further. My mom always used to say that people were like magnets. If somebody was more drawn to you, then you were probably more likely to pull away a little bit because that was always the dance that you were in. And if they pulled away, you would maybe draw closer. So I look at a lot of things the same way, and it's, this is part of like law of attraction and all that stuff. But to take it out of these like cerebral terms of like manifesting and law of attraction and like put it into real life, I think if you have a specific thing that you want, try to just know that and be like, okay, yes, I want that. Sure. And then try to do a lot of other things with your life that bring you any sense of like joy or meaning or draw your attention, or just try to do things differently. If you're someone who doesn't normally read, commit yourself to reading a book. If you're somebody who doesn't normally go for walks, you normally go to the gym, go for a walk. Try something different that you haven't tried before, because sometimes breaking yourself out of the rhythm that you've been in, which includes wanting, it includes getting up, eating breakfast, doing this, doing that, wanting this thing that you don't have, and going to bed. Getting up and breaking that pattern and doing something different, I think, is the fastest way to kind of shake yourself out of those feelings and bring yourself into something a little bit more present and a little bit more real. And then I think when you do that, when you kind of detach from the thing you want and focus on doing new things for yourself, re-exciting your brain, re-exciting your mind, that's where sometimes you'll find the little pieces and fragments of things that can help you build up, and all of a sudden you have what you want, or you have a version of what you want that maybe wasn't what you wanted before but has become that. And I think it's really easy to listen to, especially with a lot of our algorithms, if I am talking to any creative dreamers or people who really want something specific, which I think is great. It's great to be a person who actually wants something out of life, whether it's love or career, whatever. But to be a wanter just keeps you being a wanter. And I think these, the rhetoric around manifestation and all these laws of attraction and all these different things, it doesn't feel real because it doesn't feel tangible. It feels like these prayers you almost have to do late at night, or these quotes you have to read, or these stories you have to save and share, which is so dumb. It's like when we were sending emails when we were freaking 11 years old being like, send this to 3 people or you have a terrible day and a ghost will come out from under your bed. It's like there's TikToks right now that are like, save this to claim this energy, and it's confusing and it's not real. Like that's all not your real life. Your real life is what you do to get yourself out of the same place that you've been in. And if you don't want to always be in a state of wanting, the key is to just do something different. And you can do something different every day. But the more that you do something different, I think the more the world opens up to you. So that's my advice to end off a very...
No, I got one thing before we go.
What?
That was good advice.
Thanks.
We got an email. No subject. If you want a weird skill, learn to yodel.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that one?
I know who sent that, and it's meh.
Yeah, but we're going to keep...
She's probably listening to this now again while she's making soap. I agree, Matt. That's hilarious. And it's a great point to what I just said. If you want to try something different, you could yodel. You could.
Does she want to yodel?
No, I can picture her typing it out and laughing to herself and just being like, hey, I thought of this. And this is weird. And I'm going to say it.
Can you yodel?
And I can picture going, I think yodeling would be a great skill.
Can you yodel?
No. But I tried. I can undulate. Wee.
Is that yodeling?
No, it's just like, it's undulating.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like opening and closing your soft palate. Yodeling is like, I don't know. I think you have to do something different. I think you have to like access a different range that I do not have. But anyway, that's it for today. Thanks
for writing in.
Thanks for writing in. If anyone wants any advice on anything to help me stay on task so I don't keep talking about Subway sandwiches and labia and all the times I've had diarrhea, I think it would be really helpful. We're starting to sound real desperate at the end of these episodes, but I don't really care. I don't really care at all. It's our thing and we can do what we want.
We're going to do guests soon.
Yeah, we're going to do guests soon, which I think is really going to crack this open. We really wanted to learn how to do this with just me. And I don't know if we fully really learned how to do that, but we've learned some things and I think it's time almost to have some guests. So we'll have some guests on for you soon. Thank you so much for listening. And askthepodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions.
Like, follow, subscribe.
But don't be chronically online. Just listen to this while you're doing other things.
This should be your only thing that you're online for.
Aaron has different thoughts. But thank you so much for listening, everybody. I love you all. Bye, Hunnies. Have a good night.